part 2 of the UNI CT training videos. I'm Lori Smith and I will be taking you through this presentation. We will be going over part 3 of the UNI Student Teaching Handbook. Part 3 on page 23 has the responsibilities of school and university personnel table of contents. Some of the responsibilities of the cooperating teacher are to make sure that you introduce your student teacher to your students, administrators, faculty, staff, and parents. Provide them with a desk for their student teacher's belonging and a place for them to plan lessons. Share information about the culture of your school and students. Share teaching resources and take time to train them with the technology that is used in your district and how it will enhance teaching and learning. Share expectations. What are the protocols, procedures, or any extra duties that the student teacher might be a part of? Take time to plan together. Allow the student teachers to work with individuals, small groups, and large group, and encourage them to communicate, reflect, and continuously model effective teaching strategies. There's more information on the responsibilities of the cooperating teacher found on page 25 and 26 of the handbook. On page 27, we have a list of different ways to utilize the co-teaching models. There's the one teach, one observe, one teach, one assist, station teaching, parallel teaching, team teaching, and supplemental teaching. Please take time to introduce your student teacher to your professional learning communities. Help them understand the culture of collaboration found on page 28. There's not a specific timeline of when the student teacher engages in the teaching process, but on page 29 and 30, there's an example of how you can phase in your student teacher. There are certain variables that go into when your student teacher is ready to take over. Sometimes that's confidence of the student teacher. Maybe it's a transition of units that might be a better time for the student teacher to take over. And certainly the readiness of when the cooperating teacher is ready to give up parts of a lesson as well. Discuss the weekly schedule with the student teacher at first, and that is kind of found on page 115 of the Student Teaching Handbook. Page 113 talks about how to provide that long-term planning goals of when to phase in that student teacher. The process of teaching, the student is going to be involved with some observation, so they're going to start to understand the classroom process, getting to know the students, what classroom management is used, the strategies that you'll be using. They get a chance to learn technology, but we want them to be actively involved even in this observation phase. They will be participating. They will be assisting in planning of lessons, do some of the behind-the-scenes work, develop relationships with students, teach an intro part of a lesson or a culminating part of the lesson. They will be teaching mini lessons and teach a period after the CT has modeled a lesson. Sometimes that is an effective way to get them involved. And certainly they'll be part of the teaching process. There's differences between a first placement and second placement. Oftentimes you find that in the second placement of the student teaching process that the student teacher might jump in a little quicker than when it is the first placement. So take that into consideration if your student teacher is a first-time student teacher, if they've done this before. Their confidence level might be a little different. Yes, our student teachers will be providing lesson plans, and there's lots of different ways to develop a lesson plan, and I encourage you to go over that organization process of your expectations. In the first few weeks, they can certainly use the cooperating teacher's lesson plan and other resources. In the middle weeks, the student teacher might be assisting with the planning with the CT and use your guidance as they go through this process. And when they full-time teach, they might be doing a lot more of the planning, but still might need some of the CT's guidance. And on page 31 and 32, we have more information about lesson planning. The responsibilities of the UNI coordinator: we will inform the cooperating teacher of any of the university expectations. We will be observing your student teacher and providing them feedback. We will be writing a report after each observation and conferencing with that student after each one of those observations. And we will be counseling with the individual student teachers concerning personal and professional problems as well. We are here to support the student teacher as well as the cooperating teacher. These are some of the resources used in part 2 of this presentation of our university handbook. Thank you.